Hey everyone, I'm recording an update podcast on just what I'm going through right now. If you're out of touch or you don't know who the fuck I am, basically, these last 3 weeks have been hell for me. I've had 5 panic attacks. I think it was almost 6. Actually, no, I've had 6 panic attacks, almost 7, I think. So I've had 5, it was either 4 or 5. 4 or 5 in the first, 4 days, I think. From May 15th to, May 18th. Those days were a blur, by the way. Honestly, the last 3 weeks have been a blur. They don't feel like 3 weeks. They feel like I don't know, a week and a half or something. You know? Just 2 weeks have felt. Anyway, so it's 4 in the morning, almost 5. And this is usually about the time that, I like to go to bed late because I'm so used to it. And when I was trying to recover from my paranoia, I go to bed earlier because that way I can get a good start to the day. But really, I need to do what I want to do, which is go to bed late, wake up moderately late. Surprisingly, I don't sleep as much. Well, not surprisingly, I don't sleep as long as I should. I've had lines under my eyes, I think, for 3 weeks now. Clear-headed now, but it's awful. This has been the worst 3 weeks of my life. It's funny, I keep thinking that, no, it can't be. There's gotta be some other period where I've had 3 awful weeks. I remember my first week of camp was hell. That also felt like a blur. First week of camp, grade 5, I think. And yeah, that was I felt like I almost had a panic attack then, but I don't know, because I was new to camp. But this has been awful. Anyway, I just wanted to share. The reason why I wanted to start this is because I just took my Moderna shot, earlier today or whatever. And, at least right now, my whole arm felt numb. Now it's back to normal, it's just weak, and I just put some food into my body. I still know when the fuck I'm hungry or not. I kind of just guess. I just kind of snack the whole day and kind of just drink a little bit the whole day. But, so I took my shot and I felt a headache. Tried to sleep. Couldn't. I got really angry. And I got really angry at my parents, and I'm still really angry at them. I'm really bitter. And I wrote them a whole message, and instead of just trying to collect my fucking thoughts together, I'm just gonna read this. Alright, so this was like an hour ago. Alright. You know, I haven't had one single relaxing night in what has now been 3 weeks. That's true. And you know what you guys thought was more important? Getting a protection vaccine. No! Not to let Jeremy have one night of relaxation in 3 whole fucking weeks. You know I'm suffering from panic disorder. You know, I really do blame myself for all this. And I'm not angry at you guys anymore for how you handled my paranoia. You did the best you could, and I appreciate that. Especially you, Mom. Thank you. But every single night is another bad adventure for me. I'm scared, almost terrified every single night before I go to bed of what could happen next. You both decided it was better to have Jeremy get his COVID shot You both decided it was better to have Jeremy get his COVID shot over with rather than to let him have one peaceful night and take precaution the next day by spending the day around the house, avoiding exposure, and then take the shot when he feels ready. So I listened to you. I trusted you. And ignored my physical and mental health. And now here I am, 4 a.m. in the morning, typing this out, experiencing chest tightness with a side of panic disorder, a little more aid with sore, numb arm, with a sore, numb arm, and don't forget an awful fucking headache. And knowing that I listened to you makes me bitter. And hearing you have no regrets about your decision makes me even more bitter. It makes me angry. I have a burning passion of anger inside, and I'm too weak to let it out. And honestly, you guys are tired of hearing my anger. You need your sleep. I get that. But this is something I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive you for. All I've been asking for is one stress-free night before I take my shot. But I finally caved in and trusted you. As great a parent as you are, it is mind-boggling to me how illogical and stupid, given all the factors, the way you came to this decision. And at least to me, it is absolute insanity the way you stand by and support your choice. Anyway, I'll probably not be as bitter about this tomorrow as I am right now, but that's how I feel right now. Good night. And then I put more like another bad night for me. So I'm not nearly as bitter, or I'm not like emotional or whatever. I mean, I'm a little bitter. It was more like because I'm angry, but this is something that's true. I don't hate my parents. I love my parents so much. Like, they've done so much for me. Like they are the best parents in the world. I still think they're the best parents in the world. They are awesome. But they make mistakes. And I'm not an vacciner. I don't know. But I'm not one of those guys. But, what was I gonna say? Yeah, okay, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, all right? But my parents are obsessed with COVID. They're obsessed with getting the vaccine. They are obsessed. Not as much as my mom. My mom is easily influenced. I'm easily influenced. That's where I get it from. My dad is super, super paranoid. Like, insanely paranoid about COVID, which he should be. I mean, I understand. I get the effects. And I understand it's awful. But hear where I'm coming from, okay? From earlier this year, for 2 months, from March till May, I would smoke I would get high every single day. And that, I'm not saying it's the best stretch, 2 month stretch of my life, but it's the best 2 month experience, like high experience, feeling, whatever of my life. Okay? It was so incredible. And the pandemic was something that it let me do that. It let me smoke whenever I wanted, and it was okay. I have a lot of anxiety about getting a job and growing up and this and that, because it's like I have severe anxiety. Like I went on anxiety medication for it, which I'm back on, by the way. And the pandemic, I mean, fuck, like we don't have anything to do during the pandemic, but to me, that's good. Because I was just getting high every single day. It was okay. I asked my parents, I asked my dad, I'm like, listen, I know getting high is bad. You don't want to depend on weed, but is it okay if I smoke? He said, yeah, sure. And I got carried away, I admit. I got carried away. And then I overdosed and I had panic attacks. So I have a positive perception of the pandemic. It's weird. So I mean, it's kind of flipped around, but I mean, like basically, I've always thought that the pandemic was great because it helped my mental health. It helped me because I have social anxiety disorder also. So like getting away from people was great. you know, Let me recharge my batteries and let me be the person who I want to be, because I'm always afraid to be the person I want to be around other people. I don't know, like afraid of being judged, and just, I don't know, I just freeze up around people almost all the time. It's it's fucked up. And it's not fucked up, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I had a positive experience of the pandemic. I thought it was great. And obviously my parents didn't, right? They fucking hated the pandemic. And they really, really wanted, like my dad is just always watching the news. And you know what the news does? Because I'm in journalism. I see it all the time. I'm around the newsrooms, even during COVID. I know what's going on. I know what they're talking about. And it's COVID nonstop. You know why? Because that's what gets the eyeballs. And it's true. You know what? I mean, like, it's also just, it's a pandemic. It's something we need to talk about, of course. It's something we need to cover, of course. But the media obsesses over it. It's nonstop. And you know it's nonstop. You can't get it out of your head. Okay? You think that's good for your mental health? No, it's not. Okay? I understand we have to, like, at the beginning, okay, a year ago or whatever it was, like the first 3 months, 100% you gotta obsess over it because you gotta get through everyone's thick, dumb skulls, especially those Americans. You gotta tell them that this is a risk. You've gotta be careful. But it's not acceptable. It's not right to just talk about it all the time. It's like this fucked up capitalistic view that, like, you just gotta, keep shoving out that information. It's like advertisement. Keep rolling it over and over again. I mean, like, because journalism's all about, like, what do people care about? What are people interested in? The pandemic. Okay, how about the pandemic? How about the pandemic fucking again? Like, it's always the pandemic. And I get the first 3 months, but it's been like this nonstop. And then they cover stories. So, like, they do stories on COVID and people experiencing COVID, which is fine, but that's all you get. It has to be COVID related, And I get, because that's the society we live in. But I mean, holy shit, the amount of fucking... Like, I'm obsessing over it, you know? That's how fucked up it is. I'm obsessing over it. So... So anyway, like, because we're so obsessed over it, you know, my dad became obsessed over it. He's a former journalist, but he's a little more naive than me, you know? Like, he'll believe anything that, or not believe anything that's on the news, because that's like, you know, there's like a fine line, right? Like, there's fake news, but then there's like news that isn't like properly quantified, right? You know what I mean? And my dad will just watch whatever's on the news because he trusts the news like he should. But like it's made everyone obsessive and paranoid, and it's not good for your mental health. And honestly, he's so obsessive over it that he cares more about me getting a shot than my fucking mental health. And here's the thing, okay? Because of all the panic attacks that I suffered, I'm not gonna run outside and start shaking hands with people. And I know I'm exaggerating, but I would not leave the house. I wouldn't. I'd stay in the house. I love staying in the house, you know? And just all I asked for was just like one day of just relaxation where I'm not paranoid, or just until I feel better. But it's like, it's just like, why do I have to keep going through more? You know, I've already been through enough. And I read out my text, like, I was so angry, so much, because I was angry based on how I was feeling, what I was experiencing, but I'm too weak to let out. And like, it's awful. It's so unhealthy. It's not good. But because and even the doctor, she says, like, yes, you got to get your vaccine as soon as you can, you know? And obviously my dad was like, okay, Jer, you know, you got to get your vaccine now. You got to do it. It's like, anyway, I know I've rambled on about the same things, but these are the thoughts that go through my head, you know, about just how obsessive we are about COVID-19, and how, like, at first I liked it because it was new and exciting, but like, fuck, man, it drives us crazy. There's a way that it can be monitored and controlled. Yeah. Anyway, at first I wanted to go more in depth about, you know, my mental health and all that, and what I've been experiencing, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna end it there. I'm gonna get some sleep. I just ordered a bunch of McDonald's. Like, I'm staying away from caffeine because that's what caused my 6th panic attack and almost my 7th panic attack. But luckily, I stopped it right before. So what happened was, I fell asleep, and it's actually called caffeine induced panic disorder or something like that. I don't know, but it's where, when you have caffeine like, I mean, you know, I'm not saying a little bit, but like, I'm so weak that even a little bit affected me, where like, you're so anxious because you get anxious from caffeine. Your body mistakes that, if you're super high anxiety like I am, I have super anxiety and paranoia, your body can tend to mistake the anxiousness in your body and go into fight or flight mode. And, you know, because my heart felt weird. I was like, why does my heart felt weird? And, you know, because paranoia is not good. I've got caffeine. I'm just terrified about caffeine now, even though I was addicted to coffee. It's just crazy how just things have flipped. it's gone a whole 180, total upside down. So, so anyway, I fall asleep with caffeine in my system, feeling anxious. It's really hard. It was really, really hard for me to fall asleep that night. So I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and my heart feels weird, because I just wake up. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just wake up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's like, it was instinctual. Within 2 seconds, more like it's like 3 to 5 seconds, it's like, I felt like I was gonna die. Just for those 3 seconds, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not gonna die. And then it was like, I started to see, right before my panic attack, it was crazy. I was starting to see bright lights. It was like my vision was zoning in. Because I was so aware of it too. I remember it's like very clearly. I was like, I felt like lines, like blurriness around my vision, and I zoned into it. I was like, whoa. I mean, at the time I wasn't like, whoa. I was freaking out, right? Because like, holy fuck. So because I've had so many panic attacks, my body went into almost another panic attack, because it's so used to doing it at this point. It's like fucking jumping rope. And so like I go to my mom or whatever, and she tells me it's like everything's fine, but I'm like, why am I feeling so weird? Like, why did I almost have a panic attack? I'm freaking out. And my hands are clammy, I'm shaking, and my and I told him, is it because of the caffeine? So I do research, and I tell my dad, my parents are exhausted. Like, I wake them up, right? I shouldn't, but like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Have a panic attack? And then my dad criticizes me. He's like, Jerry, you're not having a panic attack. It's just in your head. I'm like, but I did almost have a panic attack. I know when I have a panic attack. And like, I think it was the caffeine. He was like, well, how much you have? 1 sip. He's like, no, it can't be the caffeine. I'm like, well, my body's super weak, okay? I haven't had much sleep at all. I think a little caffeine could fucking do that. He's like, no, it can't. Like, he is just so naive sometimes. Like, he is such a smart man. I respect my father so much. He is such a smart man, but other times he is so naive. So fucking naive. I'm gonna keep using the word naive and not stupid, okay? Because he's not stupid, he's just naive. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the doctor tomorrow, because I had an appointment tomorrow. And I'm gonna ask her, could even a little caffeine do it? And you know what the doctor said? She said, yeah, it's possible. She's not gonna say yes or no, right? But she agrees with my theory, like, that yes, it's possible that what happened. And my dad was still skeptical. He's like, oh, but no, probably not. And that's the kind of shit I've been dealing with, And my father's my main stress point. I'm arguing with him all the time, and we just get each other stressed out. But you know what? I don't know how to fucking live on my own. It's a pandemic. You can't go anywhere. And I have social anxiety disorder. I don't talk to anyone. So what the fuck am I supposed to do, right? So I just keep arguing with him, because it's like, because I'm so negative because of all my panic attacks, and I have muscle tension. By the way, did you know that? Yeah, so I had lots of muscle tension all throughout my body for months, several months, and it's pretty much all gone, it's great now. But you know how my first panic attack started? I had tightness in my chest before then, from just overexertion and whatnot. And so what is it? Overexercise. Sorry, I need to sleep. It's weird that it's like that I haven't gotten much sleep. But yeah, so like I got tightness on my chest from overexertion, overexercise. And then I got high, and I was very paranoid, right? So I got high, and then, one thing led to another, chest got tighter, Even talking, here's the thing, my doctor diagnosed me with panic disorder, so it's temporary, it only lasts a few weeks. But what it is you experience the same symptoms you experience during your panic attack, even when you're not having a panic attack. So if I get overexcited, or if I get not even even sometimes if it's just a little burst of energy, or if it's when your heart sometimes skips a beat from stress. I don't know if you've had that, but if you just get a feeling of stress, like shock, it's like bam, tightness in my chest. It just comes right back, it hits me right back. And and even though I know I'm not having a panic attack, because I'm not, but my body's so used to it that it experiences those similar symptoms, because that's the way it reacts to stress. It's so used to it. So that's panic disorder. So I have that. Anyway, I should probably cut this short. Cut this short. I've been going on for 25 minutes straight. But yeah, I should do this more. It's not healthy to record podcasts when you're tired, but I don't know. It's like, I just think clearer during the night, Falling asleep right now. Anyway, all right. Good night, all. Safe trips, and just, I don't know. I don't like to be like, oh, I experienced this, and now I'm gonna teach you a life lesson, or whatever. But I will say this. If you do want to know something from my experience, and you do care about whatever the fuck I'm experiencing, just, don't experience, internal struggle is your worst enemy, okay? It really is. You think that there are worse things out there, but you really can be a prison of your own mind. Anyway, thank you. Good night. Hello, and welcome to a Jeremy Yudin podcast, hosted by yours truly, Jeremy Yudin. Why am I so relaxed, you may ask? I always start off so excited. What's changed? Well, I did some research into what I've been experiencing. It turns out I have an addiction to adrenaline boosts. I've been using adrenaline to boost my energy, boost my exercise. I get so much adrenaline that I'd have to take deep breaths and calm down. And that affects my stress levels, and that is why I had panic attacks. But the main reason why I am going through all of this, and why I'm making such a big deal out of this, is because I was smoking weed for 2 months. And I'm just gonna eat some egg. So, this egg's good. So, I was smoking weed for 2 months. And I would use sativas, like I mentioned, so it'll get me excited, energetic, which are things I love to do. And I overdosed, got too excited, paranoia, and now I am much better. I am eating. I'm eating foods that lower adrenaline and stress levels, so eggs, grains, avocado. Apparently avocado really helps lower your adrenaline. Really relaxes you, really steadies you. So remember that. But also, I need to eat because I'm hungry. And you know what I'm eating? I'm eating soup, drinking soup. Now I'm slurping soup. And smoking weed would cause me to not pace myself. And when you don't pace yourself, you don't know your body. And your body goes into fight or flight mode, especially with all the factors I've experienced, I'm going through. This is the most relaxed I've felt in a month. Whole month. Never felt this relaxed. You know? Because I would get myself going. Because I am addicted to adrenaline. Okay? Now you know. So this is probably going to be a super long podcast. A 2-parter. The first part being the stressed out, and then part 2 being relaxed. So I could call it like yin and yang or something. I don't know, I'm just bouncing off ideas. Yin and yang or night and day. Because I like to think of titles for podcasts, you know? I have so much creative energy and passion that I just love using it. You know? It's insane, isn't it, huh? How the world works, how our body works, how we try to be someone else, other people, and not trying to be ourselves, and how we evolve as people, you know? How we change. You know? It's like I'm stoned right now, but it's like I'm stoned. Feels like I'm stoned because I haven't fucking felt so relaxed in so long. You know, I'm so used to boosting my adrenaline so much so that it's painful. It's agitating how much I try to boost my adrenaline, how I try to be around other people, how to try to be around myself. Because I have such high expectations. I want to succeed so badly in life. And I get that from my father. My father wants to succeed so badly that I get that from him. And he has high stress levels. And I get that from him. And it's just fucked up. You know, it's fucked up how life works and how crazy things are. And holy shit, you know? I mean, I'm just coming to the realization about how crazy that is. I mean, I need to eat more food. Because the deeper I get into these thoughts, the hungrier I am, I think. So, Let me just get some fucking food, man. See what's in the fridge. Ah, fuck, I have to shit. See, like, I'm listening to my body, so I guess I gotta poop. So, instead of eating big meals, for like 2 years, a year, I would eat only 3 meals a day because that's what my mom told me. She said, apparently, if you want to lose weight, eat 3 times a day, no snacking. And apparently that's not true. Apparently there is such thing as healthy snacking. And, that's what I'm doing now. And I find it's easier to pace myself when I'm snacking healthily. And here's my father, right here.
Who's this?
Oh, I'm just recording my podcast. You want to hop on? Just say a couple words?
About what? Well, sure.
Whatever you want. What do you want to say?
Well, what do you want me to talk about? What have you been talking about?
Just everything that I've been going through and how I'm reducing my stress levels with food, like avocados and eggs and grains, and it's relaxing me.
Jeremy is, we're watching Jeremy progress, and he's learning more about nutrition so he could reduce his anxiety and other levels that are harmful to him, and he's making a lot of progress. So we're proud of him. I'm proud of him.
Thank you very much, Dad. That was my father right there. As you could tell, he's very... I'm trying to think of a word, like, very polite. You're very polite, very kind.
Thanks.
Very sweetheart. Anyway, I'm taking a shit right now. And, like, Jesus, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just kind of, like, going with the flow, seeing what happens, Oh, fuck. I know I shouldn't be recording this, but this is fucked up. I'm gonna end it here, okay? Bye. I think I'm gonna start carrying around avocado and eggs.